Let's come out and look over here and see if we smell anything this far. Call the United States Border Patrol, let them know we're getting close to the border. Good morning, Major Craig. This is Baron Partlow from Stop the Poop. I have a crew from HBO Fox Vice with me. We're going down into Goat Canyon. I'm just advising you that we're getting close to the border. We're just documenting. We're not trying to shoot any border security or border personnel. You smelling it now? Come over here.
Baron Partlow's a very specific kind of environmental activist. He documents the wastewater that flows into the United States from Mexico.
It might already be too late for me, but I still try to exercise caution. Safety first, that's us every time at Stop the Poop.
He doesn't have a background in science or journalism. What he does have is a lot of free time. And someone who follows him around with an iPhone.
There's no birds here. There's no lizards. And only the most resilient of rodents are running through here. Rats, rabbits, maybe an occasional squirrel. When you hear Stop the Poop, it's like, you know what? Stop all the bullshit. Stop the trash.
Is it meant to be literal or is it meant to be figurative like that?
It's meant to be literal. Stop the shit coming from Mexico.
While the federal government obsesses over the so-called emergency at the border, a small town is trying to get people to care about a crisis that has nothing to do with migrants. The Tijuana River flows north from Mexico to Imperial Beach, and it regularly brings trash, chemicals, and poop along for the ride. The problem's gotten so bad, the beach is almost never open.
I mean, it's brutal. Right now, we're looking at, good surf and it's filthy water.
There aren't actual turds floating around, but there's plenty of liquefied waste in these waters. It's a pretty gross reminder that Mexico's problems are the US's problems too.
What does it smell like when it's bad?
Pesticides and detergent and poop.
Like poop.
Nothing but sewer from Tijuana.
People take this shit seriously here, and they meet all the time to talk about it.
When you've got hundreds of millions of gallons of sewage and poop and chemicals, including lead, DDT, toluene, benzene, this is a public health crisis.
Can't a lifeguard just call you and say, I think it smells, and you'll close the beach?
If you smell something, let us know. Let the lifeguard. The beach is everything here. It's a working class town. We don't have a lot of money. And it's killing us that we have to be begging, literally, for federal officials and both sides of the border to actually do something to help us.
When you hear people talk about a border wall and the amount of money that they want to spend on a border wall, is it hard to sit here in Imperial Beach?
Yeah, it makes me sick because we don't need a wall. Well, $5.7 billion, are you kidding? We could fix every problem along the borders.
Before the Tijuana River dumps into Imperial Beach, it collects water from creeks and channels that run through heavily populated areas up in the canyons of Tijuana. The city's population has more than doubled since the mid-90s, but its infrastructure has struggled to keep up. So people have been settling in neighborhoods without basic sewage systems and using the river as a drain.
When it rains, we are at the bottom of a canyon, so water will rush down. It excavates really fast. So it's just an environmental disaster. Every time this happens, people down below receives all this trash and waste and renegade flows.
The people here know what's happening across the border because it affects them first.
¿Ustedes han escuchado de una ciudad allá en los Estados Unidos llamado Imperial Beach?
Se va la basura y el agua, las aguas negras.
¿Saben?
Sí. O sea, nosotros necesitamos drenaje, necesitamos servicios y no los tenemos. Esta agua no es de lluvia, porque ahorita no está lloviendo. Haz de cuenta que nada más improvisaron un canal que viene de otras colonias.
What everyone wants is simple, actual sewage infrastructure. But you can't erase decades of sprawl without spending billions of dollars. And Mexico isn't about to drop that kind of money because people in a small town across the border are pissed. So when officials from Imperial Beach and Tijuana meet, which they do a few times a month, they're stuck discussing patchwork solutions, like improvements to trash catchers and water treatment plants. If you go down to any of the places where water flows over to the US, you can see all the stuff that still isn't getting filtered out.
So once stuff goes through here, it's no longer in Mexico?
No. The problem that Imperial Beach and this section of Tijuana is that back in the 50s and 60s, we did not plan the city. We just let things happen, and now it's a huge problem.
You can't just stop water from flowing.
If we block the flow of water here, this road will eventually collapse, and all of this will end up at City Hall in Imperial Beach.
Since the water and everything in it crosses an international border, Imperial Beach's best bet is probably convincing the federal government to either fix the problem or force Mexico's hand. So they're suing the federal government for help and hoping Trump will take on their border crisis too.
You had 30 seconds with the President of the United States. What would you tell him?
President Trump, please allow me to be of maximum service to you and allow you to be the champion of not only the American people, but also the Mexican people, and make a final solution to our environmental issues all along the border.
You still have like 10 seconds left. You don't want to add anything?
I might even say it something like, "Stop the poop!"